Hello, I'm Judith DeLozier, and I have been in the career of NLP, I suppose, and developer, co-author of many books with Robert Dilts, John Grinder, Richard Bandler over the years. I've been blessed to have been involved in all three generations of the development of that field of knowledge along the way. And I just sent out a little note of my appreciation for the Indonesian institution of NLP and the NLP Association of Indonesia. And I am in support of their mission to really have useful information and accessible information. And also, I think, practical information around NLP that can really be held in our community. So, having said that, out to you, I would like to say hello, Dan Salamat Datang. Welcome to a little sharing from me so that you get to know me other than just my words. This idea of being committed to sharing, sharing knowledge that's practical and useful, I thought maybe the best way to introduce myself to you is to share something that I think is practical and useful from NLP. So let me do that. I'm going to put on some PowerPoints, and I hope you find this useful. So, I think the point I wanted to make in this is the importance of our inner game, what's happening in our inner world, and how that affects the outer game of life. So that's kind of the spirit. That's the theme of what I would like to talk about. But let me give you a couple of definitions to NLP. I think there's probably a lot. Really, in the early days, it was called the study of the structure of my subjective experience, not objective, but subjective. What happens inside of Judy when certain events happen in the world and that relationship. And that was based in wanting to build models of success. And so if you had a school teacher and they were an amazing teacher to, let's say, the fifth grade or something, the sixth grade, you go, I want to know, can I develop the skills to have a better understanding of what they're doing that's so successful? Because I know as a human being, I'm not them, but I also know as a human being, I can learn, and maybe I can learn from them some skills that will really enhance the quality of my work. So for me, that was really the first definition of NLP. It was tools for building models of success. Here's one from the ANLP, which defines NLP as practical approach to understanding human behavior and developing advanced communication skills. It offers tools that can help individuals, teams, and organizations create positive change and improve outcomes and support well-being. So I think that kind of makes a little point to me that says is a little bit of holistic, a little bit of systemic thinking there. I want to, if I'm a leader in a team, if I'm a leader, in an organization, I want to promote positive change. I want, there to be improvement, improve outcomes. And I would hopefully, as many of us who work in the world are also healers, that it does promote a sense of well-being. That's one. Another besides modeling, right? NLP is a set of skills, models, techniques, and concepts that can support success in life or more success in life. My friend Robert Dilts, I love this, calls this field of knowledge, they're tools for dreamers. So how does NLP help me to bring my dreams alive? It's also tools for the spirit. Sometimes I feel a bit of despair, so how do these tools also support a kind of healing in there or a sense of hopefulness? And also tools for the future. The future ain't what it used to be, as I think somebody said. And that is, it seems like we're going through transition after transition after transition, and some of them, like with illnesses and with, now AI, for many people, they feel, like really big transitions and a little bit, fear of the future involved and things like that. So I think these are tools for the future. How can I ride the waves of transition? Also knowing life is really about a series of transitions. And NLP, in terms of the application, my gosh, it's been applied to health, it's been applied in education, it's been applied in leadership, the whole art of modeling, coaching, consulting, problem solving, and in the arts. So, there are so many applications. And the reason I say there are so many applications is because if there's something really amazing happening that somebody's doing or some team is doing, can we get a sense of how they're doing that? Those particular skills that they have that we all have access to, can I, in some way, uptake that and use that in order to facilitate a better team for myself, as a leader? So I hope those ideas help a little bit, just to kind of understanding. I know I represent NLP University and my own company, DeLozier and Associates International, and the core values are pretty much acknowledging and respecting different maps of the world. That we really quite often will have 45 or 50 different cultures at an NLPU event, and people connect to each other, and it's just this burst of creativity. And yes, there's always the opportunity for friction because we come from different places and different priorities, but there is the acknowledgement of respecting the different maps. And this is a very essential presupposition in NLP. The second one is identifying with the whole system. So it's not just about my learning, but how am I facilitating learning in the system, even as a participant? What is that spirit of cooperative learning and a learning culture, as I would say. And I think living from this idea of, people are positively intended. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're always positively intended to me, but in that behavior that they're demonstrating, which I might find, yikes, that there's a positive intention, there's a reason kind of moving that particular behavior. And then if I can get a sense of, is this fear? Is it they're trying to protect themselves? Has a boundary been crossed? That I can speak to that positive intention so that behavior can soften. So this is also a principle. Not saying, in any way I'd accept bad behavior. That's a different thing. That I can start to appreciate the role that behavior plays in protecting a person or motivating a person, etc. So again, core values. This is what touches me in many ways.